Okay, so I'm recording a few bits of business to get out of the way. First of all, we are probably going to be changing. It looks like we're going to be changing our Zoom times and day, but I put a little survey out because I wanted to see what works best for you. So if you haven't yet clicked on that with your preference, please do so. I would appreciate it, but I wanted to keep tonight's the same just because we've been planning on it and, you know, just to keep that consistency. And if you've not yet filled out your survey for me with your 2016 goals, please do, and I'll share with you guys what mine are too. I know that it is a challenging task. So I'm super excited to see them starting to roll in, and I will be reaching out to people within this next week to schedule some one-on-one calls, about a half an hour, to kind of talk about your goals and reverse engineer them a little bit and get ready for a really strong 2016. So I'm super excited about that. And Super Saturday, if you're able to go, no pressure. If you're able to go to your Super Saturday event in your area, it's a great opportunity to get plugged in. If you're not able to go, then, next time. It happens every quarter. So Madison's is officially sold out. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So I'm really excited about that. And if you haven't signed up for the one in your area and you are able to, cool. If you're not, just mark your calendar for the next one, okay? It's a really great way for you to connect with other coaches in your area and get inspired and hear some great information. And I know that Nicole, I bet that you'll be able to try the cafe latte, although you might not since it's the way, but I know that some of the Super Saturdays are going to have it available, but it's pretty limited. So but since Nicole is going to see Carl, I'm guessing he'll have the cafe latte with him.
Probably. Awesome.
Yeah, so very exciting. And so stay tuned for news about the cafe latte launch, and they'll be announcing the 2017 Success Club trip. I know it's at a resort of some sort, and I know that there's going to be a couple different weeks. They're splitting it between a couple different weeks so that there's a smaller wait list and it can accommodate more people, but that's all I know. Usually January is double Success Club points, double points for the trip in the past, so keep that in mind. Even if they haven't announced it yet, I would keep that in the back of your mind. And was there other housekeeping stuff I wanted to chat about? Oh, I think that was it, other than we need to give a huge round of applause for some shining star diamonds in this group. Nicole Baker, who has officially held her 1-star diamond rank for 6 weeks, and Bridget Hammond, who's held her 2-star diamond rank for 6 weeks. This is huge, guys. I'm super, super proud of them and excited. So round of applause. Yay! It's amazing. It's really, really cool. What a better way to start. There's no better way to start the year for these two ladies. And I know they've worked really hard, and it's a team effort. They have to have the diamonds on their team to make it happen. So proud of these ladies. So, all right. Well, I'm struggling with a little bit of a cold, so my voice is kind of hoarse and froggy. So, Nicole and Bridget and anybody else, is there anything that I forgot that's like housekeeping stuff to touch base with? Those are the biggies, I think. Okay. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on the power of threes. And this is just basically all this is just a different way to approach your power hour. And some of you might find that you really love it and that it works for you. And if you're a newer coach on this call, you're like, what the heck's a power hour? Power hour is just, like any other business. If you punch into work, you're going to have a, set amount of time that you're there. And so as Beachbody coaches, we always want to try to have at least one power hour a day. Sometimes it's going to be split into smaller chunks of time, depending on what your schedule is and what your life is like. And the greatest thing about this business is that we have the opportunity to work it when we can, how we can, okay? So it doesn't always have to be a consistent set hour of time. It could be 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, 15 minutes after the kids are in bed. But the power of threes is just a way to break up your power hour to make sure that you are staying consistent and staying focused. I know I'd love to see a show of hands of how many people fall into the Facebook time suck of life when you go to stay. I'm going to start my power hour, and you start your power hour, and then you're like, and what's squirrel? So-and-so's in the Bahamas. Oh my gosh, she got married. She had twins, like, and the next thing I know, I'm like checking out what, my next door neighbor's new car looks like and what my ex-boyfriend from 8th grade is doing. And, it's ridiculous. So I get sucked into the Facebook time suck. And then I've spent what Alyssa Gibson and I like to call a weak hour rather than a power hour doing a whole lot of nothing that I could have done in 15 minutes and then feeling, yes, Ellen, I feel you. It's bad. So Power of Threes is just a strategy for us to try to tear through our power hour in an hour or less, depending on how you're breaking up your time, and really stay focused on these consistent behaviors that are going to move your business forward, okay? And when I talk about the power hour, I am not talking about your workout being a product of the product, right? One of our 3 vital behaviors. And I'm also not talking about your personal development, because that's another one of our 3 vital behaviors. I'm talking about the inviting part, and that I want you just to spend an hour on, basically these behaviors which are going to be connecting you with other people. So your workout and your personal development are going to come in a different part of your day. Make it sense? All right, so I posted this sheet for you guys to print, but if you didn't print it, no worries. You can easily jot these down on a sheet of paper. You could take the PDF and alter it to make it fit your needs, okay? Again, the beauty of this business is you can run it how you want to run it. Your power hour is going to look like you, as long as it's not a weak hour. That's kind of our goal, right? So these consistent steps are going to help grow your business. So basically, what we're going to do tonight's a working call, and it is going to force you out of your comfort zone a little bit, and me too, because we're going to be doing these tasks together, and we're going to try to be done by 10. So we're actually going to do them in 45 minutes, maybe even quicker if we can. And I'm up here. I'm here to support you and answer questions along the way. But I'm going to be doing it too because I desperately need to. I have not yet had a power hour today. So Power of Threes. The first thing we're going to do, and if you've got your sheet printed, you're going to see the first step I want you to do is to add 3 new friends. Part of what I've been hearing from people lately is I'm not getting much traffic on my wall. I'm not getting much comments on my promotions for challenge groups, that kind of thing. People are feeling frustrated because they're not getting much love from people. Well, a lot of times the problem is because you're talking to the same damn people all the time, right? And I am still guilty of this. When I first started this business, I had maybe 200 friends on Facebook, maybe. And the only reason, excuse me, I was friends with them, is because they were like my really close friends or people I just wanted to Facebook stalk, But as my business has grown, now I'm closer to 1,000 friends. I still don't have anything close to what some people have because I'm probably not consistently enough adding friends. So add 3 new friends. Where are you going to find these people? Stop talking to the same people, guys. There's memory joggers in the back office to think of, like your dental hygienist, your cousin's best friend, your some of the moms in the preschool pickup line. What is the friend cap? Oh, I don't know. Amanda's hit the friend cap. Does anybody know what the friend cap is?
5,000.
5,000. Yeah.
5,000.
I got a long ways to go till I reach the friend cap. Okay, 5,000. Thank you. So there's lots and lots of ways you can look at your suggested friends. Look at friends of friends. Use some of those memory joggers. Join other groups. Like my preschool that my kids go to, they have a Facebook page. I'm going to go there in a couple minutes and start stalking some moms on there, okay, that I'm not friends with yet. Maybe Nicole wants to join, like Boxer Lovers of America. I don't know. But there's different groups out there that you could join. I just joined a running one here in Madison. There's lots of different ways that you can stop talking to the same people and just shoot 3 friend requests out. Don't overthink it. If they don't want to be your friend, they won't accept your request, right? So don't stress. Just do it. Face the fear. Do it anyways. So what I want you guys to do, right now for about 10 minutes is I want you to stalk 3 people and request them as friends. Don't stress out about it. Just do it. Sound good?
Strategically stalk so it's not so creepy.
Don't be creepy, right? I should, if my voice starts to go, Nicole, I'm going to do my miming.
Don't do that. I think that mime was smoking, so.
So strategically and non-creepily stalk 3 friends. And some of us who have a lot of Facebook friends, this gets harder because you've exhausted some of your leads. But get creative. So feel free to just unmute yourself and holler at the group while we're working. Sound good? I should add, guys, sorry to be the obnoxious voice here. I do not want to catch you. Not that I'll know, but pretend I'll know. Do not want to catch you responding to messages right now. Texting to your best friend, watching the Packer game, that kind of thing. Like you're just trying to focus on adding these 3 people in 10 minutes. Make sense? Do not get sidetracked by the Facebook world that is sucking you in and wanting you to waste time. All right, I'll stop.
One thing that I like to do, I'm just going to talk because I got mine done, is when I have my Facebook like page, and it's not too big, but I have over 2,000 people, and sometimes I'll get random people that will comment a lot, and I have no idea where they're from. So instead of just going and sending them a random friend request, I actually, because when I do an ad, I do target people. I go and I click on their name and I look at their news feed to see, hey, is this someone that I would want to have in my group? They don't have a lot of swear words on their page. Is this someone that fits my target market? If you can see stuff on their page. So that's what I just did, is went to my Facebook like page because I've kind of exhausted a lot of my immediate friends. And then I write their name down so that when they do send me a friend request, I can just, I'm not going to send it as soon as they send me, as soon as they accept it, but write it down and then just go and start liking and commenting on their page on authentic stuff, and then maybe commenting and then sending them a message if you feel that you do connect with them and that they might be, just to build a relationship. So nothing about your challenge group, nothing about the Air Beachbody coach. So that's what I just did.
I love that suggestion. That's right on. That's awesome. Thank you, Nicole.
Something I'm thinking of starting, I got my 3, so I'm going to interject, but
please do.
I opened up my Instagram to public. I saw one of Danielle Natoni's I think it was a Periscope or something, and because I was keeping it private because I was a little nervous because I put a lot of my kids' stuff on there, but she made a point like, who are you hiding this stuff from? In all reality, like, you hear about these things of stalkers, but how often does that really happen? So I kind of opened it up. So I'm thinking about maybe taking, because I have a lot of random people that have started following me on Instagram. So maybe trying to find them on Facebook and then kind of doing like what Nicole suggested, is starting to like things and maybe find friends through that way.
I love that idea. Definitely. When we think of adding friends to our network, it doesn't have to be just limited to Facebook. That's a really, really great point. Love that. And jot these names down, guys. If you've got the list printed, jot them down. And if you don't have the list printed, jot down. Step 1 is add new friends and the 3 people you've added. Because like Nicole said, you're going to want to reach out to those people, maybe not immediately and be like, hi, I'm creepy stalker, but like soon enough, so write them down, if for nothing else, that reason, so you can keep track, so you know to reach out. About 5 more minutes, guys, if you haven't found or maybe if you guys have found your 3, I don't know. I'm still looking.
Another thing too, to not cop out and just friend other Beachbody coaches.
Yes, thank you.
Kind of help you, because that's one thing too. It'd be an easy. It's like, okay, I added 3 friends. Well, they're already coaches, because so you want to look at when there are friends that are suggested to you. A lot of times it's because you have friends in common. Well, especially if you're a new Beachbody coach, it might be because they are already Beachbody coaches too. So it's going outside of that network too. So one thing when Jess mentioned, joining a boxer club of America, I just actually went up to the search field and typed in boxer lovers, and then I liked a page. But you can also go and start commenting on those pages or look for different groups there too to connect with people.
Yep, that's a really good point. I think that being friends with Beachbody coaches is a positive thing, like especially the people in our community, because it's our fit family, right? And we all love each other. We want to support each other. But then we do start to feel like, all we're getting is likes from other Beachbody coaches, which is good because it's giving you good affinity in the Facebook world. But also, like, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I start to feel like, oh my gosh, should I be doing that? And like I start to feel overwhelmed that all I'm watching is what other Beachbody coaches are doing, and I need to be my own person. So definitely don't cop out and just add coaches. That's a really good point, Nicole.
And Alyssa shared in the chat box that she likes to pick people who have liked her page, and if they have a mutual friend or two, and making sure that mutual friend is not a Beachbody coach.
A Beachbody coach. Yeah.
So I just saw that, Alyssa.
No, I just saw that too. Good call.
Yeah, going through who's liked your page too. I haven't done that in a while, so I need to do that.
That's a good call. Raise your hand if you've added your 3. Okay. A couple of us are still looking. Couple more minutes, and then we'll move on to the next one and chat about that. Mandy's done. Awesome.
How do I raise my hand?
I don't know. Are you on the phone, Mandy?
I'm on phone.
Okay. Well, we know you're done. Thank you. I feel you. I sense you raising your hand. I'm mostly working from my like page too, guys, just because I feel like I have exhausted a lot of my friends, like from my personal page a little bit. All right, guys. We'll move on just because if you still have to finish adding your 3 requests, you can go back and do that in a few minutes. But jot them down. Let's see, I've seen something in the chat box. Many high school peeps I'm not friends with. Excited they aren't totally random. Yes. I have to say, yes, Alyssa, your 12 days of giveaway was amazing. It was a really, really good idea. And I hope that you got lots of new traffic that way. Ellen, I agree. High school people I went to a relatively large high school, not super big, but my graduating class was maybe 300 people. And there's definitely people in my graduating class that I wasn't really friends with, and I don't know. It was just really weird request them to be friends on Facebook because I was like, we were never really that great of friends, and does this seem fake? And you kind of get stuck in that high school mindset, right? Of I don't know, being worried what they're gonna think. And when I got over that and just started requesting people, some of my best challengers and actually some of the coaches on our team were people from high school who I was never super close with, and now we have a lot more in common than we ever did. So I think just getting past that and just reaching out. If they don't want to be friends with you, they won't be. Or if you become friends with them and they're not right and you just don't feel like it's a good connection, you don't have to stay friends with them. So face the fear a little bit. High school is harder with a smaller school, but the trust factor's up. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's kind of either way. It's with a small school, it's hard, and with a larger school, there's some hardness there too. But just shoot I remember Amanda saying, just don't think about it. Just hit request and roll along. So the next thing we're going to do, guys, just to keep things moving, is I want you to reach out to 3 people next. And I like to call this, and this is from a National Wake Up Call, the Hey Girl message. Please do not make this business related. This is not an invite to a challenge group. Do not mention anything about Beachbody. This is a, hey girl, oh my gosh, I saw you took the kids ice skating this weekend. What did you think of that rink? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Or, hey girl, I noticed it's so good to see you on Facebook. Your kids are so cute. I saw that you're due in January. Do you know what you're having? Or, hey girl, I saw you just took a trip to Nicaragua. Do you have any recommendations of places to stay? Because, okay, so you're just reaching out to somebody with something that is not related to Beachbody. Make it real. Make it genuine. You're looking to form that relationship, okay? Don't have a sale in mind, because that's going to come across that you have a sale in mind. You're just making a connection, okay? Golden rule here, if someone responds back to your first Hey Girl message, do not circle back and respond to that message before you've sent all 3. Does that make sense? Because again, then you just get stuck in this Facebook time suck where you're not really moving forward. That Hey Girl message in response to you is still going to be there. So I just want you to reach out to 3 people. Hey girl, I was thinking about running the Parkinson's Half Marathon. Have you signed up? Is what I'm going to send in a minute. That kind of thing. So it's just reaching out to 3 people to form that relationship and be a genuine person. It always is good to check out their page, or their personal page first, to make sure there's nothing that really awful or sad that just happened in their life, because, just make sure that you're in touch with what's really going on with them, so it doesn't come off as artificial. Anything else anybody wants to add about the Hey Girl message?
You don't have to use girl. You could use, I always say, if you're in any of my groups or on my team, I always call everyone lovely.
Right.
Lovely.
It's not literally a Hey Girl message. Make it
hey, diva. That's one word I wouldn't use. One thing too, and Carla, it's probably you. You're probably actually going to say this about the birthdays. If it's someone's birthday,
oh yeah,
send them a private message. You can post on their wall, but send them a private message, because that's just a little bit more personal. I remember Carla sharing that on another call.
Love that. All right, guys. So
New Year's is a really good too. Like what I did, which now I have over 100 and some unread messages over Christmas, and I went through them all. And now for New Year's, like what I did is I said, hey, lovely, happy new year. And I had my own little message in there. And then do choose like a positive word to start your new year. But these are already people that I've been working on with relationships or just friends. It wasn't necessarily that they're Beachbody contacts. I think I sent them out to just people out of curiosity, but that makes people think because you end with a question, like Jess was saying, to end with a question. So checking in for the new year too.
I love that. Just be you. Make these really genuine. I call them the hey girl message, but if that doesn't feel like you, hey lovely, hi friend, hey, just checking to see what's going, whatever you want to talk about, but keep it short, end with a question, be genuine, make a connection. Do not mention Beachbody. Do not mention Shakeology. Just be you. So feel free to interject at any time, guys, with suggestions if something comes up. Don't be shy. So for example, guys, I just sent one, and maybe you guys don't need an example, but I just want to show you how short this can be. I just said, hey girl, I just wanted to say hi and wish you a very happy belated birthday. This is a friend, kind of a friend from high school, an acquaintance from high school that had a birthday just this past week, and a happy 2016. It's so much fun to follow you on Facebook and see all of your adventures. Seems like married life is treating you well. She just got married. She drives like fat tire bikes. How did your race go? Hope all is well. That's it. I mean, it doesn't have to be like anything astounding. This is somebody that I'm actually stalking to be a coach. Here I am stalking again. You guys are going to think I'm a total creeper. But I'm not going to tell her that right now. Like, I just want to reach out to her and say, hey, because she's a cool person, right? And I've already asked her to coach in the past, and she said no. So I'm not just going to keep beating the dead horse. I'm just going to make the connection again. It doesn't have to be anything, incredible. You don't have to write them a novel, right, Nicole? Would you agree? When you send your "Hey, lovely" messages, you don't write like a whole novel, do you?
No, because I'm really good at writing whole novels.
I am too.
Overwhelms people. So I've learned to just keep it short. And if you know me, like even when I post in groups and I've had challengers that have made fun of me, oh, Nicole's going to type a whole novel for us here to answer this question. So keeping it short, because even I've found like when people send me longer messages, even though I'm one to send longer messages, I have to like mark it unread and go back to it, and then sometimes I don't get back to it right away or I forget about it. And since we're on the computer and we know to respond to messages, we're a little bit better about it than someone that's not. So keeping it short, ending with a question. That's not a yes or no question. Not, hey, are you celebrating New Year's? Yes or no. What are you doing? Or yeah. Keep it short, and that's something that I need to work on too. I know when I first started, someone would be like, yes, I'm interested, and I would send them all of the information talking about what I loved about it, and then I looked back and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of information.
Information vomit. That's what I would do.
I like information if I'm going to purchase something, but they don't need it up right away. You want to make sure you're asking them questions and keeping it short. So.
Yep. I agree with you. People get overwhelmed and they like shut down. They don't want to read too much. And I'm a word girl too, Nikki, so I get it. English teacher here. I like to write a lot, but not everybody wants to read a lot. And if they feel like there's too much to respond to, then they won't a lot of times too. All right, guys, I'll give you guys about 3 more minutes. So finish up your Hey Girl messages.
You want to get personal too. You don't want to be like, hey, how are you? Like I'll get messages from people that I know are either forming me or they're just kind of creepy or, hey, how are you? Well, don't ask me that. That's a loaded question. I'm not going to answer it honestly or authentically. I'm going to say good if I don't know you that well.
You should answer it honestly and authentically. Actually.
One thing that I do sometimes, if it's obviously if it's a close friend, I will send a private message on their birthday. But if it's somebody that I don't know very well, I'll actually wait till the next day. Because you'll get a little alert like,
yep,
so-and-so's birthday was yesterday. And so then I will purposefully wait and send them a message the following day when they're not getting inundated with the bajillion messages. And then I feel like they're more receptive to actually having a conversation because it's the next day. So that's worked for me in the past.
I love that. It stands out then,
Yeah. Yep.
All right, guys, I got to tell you, the girl I just sent the message to about her fat tire, she already messaged me back, and I so want to go back and start talking back to her, but I will not because I still have one more message to send, right?
What to do?
It's really hard.
One thing too, because I like to travel, and when you come back from a trip, people ask, how was your trip? I hate that question. Of course, you're going to say good, but what I like to ask, so people get specific is, what was the best part of your trip? What did you like the most about your trip to up north or your trip to Nicaragua? And that helps people reflect in a more genuine way, so FYI, if I go on a trip, don't ask me how it was.
I think I asked you how your trip was, right?
Well, I didn't mean it like that way, but that's for me because I am truly curious. No, but I didn't mean it that way, you guys. But it's a natural thing, to say, hey, how are you? And so I try to do, that's something that I try to do because it's yeah, my trip was good, but I don't want to say it was good. I want to tell you how much I loved going to this specific beach. And that's what I like, the specifics. But it doesn't have to be about travel. That's just something that comes up easier for me. You wouldn't say, hey, how are all of your, I mean, you probably would say, how are all of your kids doing? But to get more specific, I could say, hey, Alyssa, how is Erin doing? Because she has 4 kids. That shows that you're paying attention. Boo, no.
Right.
But I could say that, and that just shows that you're paying attention too. And it doesn't take that much time, and it's a simple question. She sucks at bedtime. Well, I picked the wrong one. How's John doing? Good. So getting specific and short.
I like that.
For me too.
All right, I'm just checking in, guys. I'm a slow
Sorry,
learner.
ladies. I gotta bounce out. My 3rd child has come down with the flu, so
Oh gosh.
I'm out for the night.
Bounce out. Good luck. Good luck.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
How many of you sent your 3 reach out messages? Beautiful. We'll rock and roll on then, okay? The next thing you're going to want to do, and this is a hard one, I want you to send 3 invites. I would like to preface this by saying this is for any kind of challenge, okay? And I hope that you wrote down your 3 people you reached out to. You should be writing down these names because you want to be keeping track. Any type of challenge for your next one, 3 invites. So a free challenge coming up. That's a lot less scary, right? Because it's free. You're not asking anything from them other than that you thought of them and you thought they might want to be in your challenge, okay? Because it's a free crockpot challenge or free abs challenge or free clean eating challenge, or maybe you didn't realize that you had a free clean eating challenge coming up in a couple weeks, but I'm telling you right now that you do, right? So that's something you could invite people to right now. Or maybe I have, a 21-day fix and a hammer and chisel challenge starting on the 11th, and it's about time people need to order like ASAP to get in the group, right? So this would be something I could reach out to them for. Don't be scared. It's not so bad. I would make it, again, short, and I would always end with a question. Does anybody off the top of their head have a script that they would use? I hate to use the word script because it should feel, of course, like you. But does anybody want to share the wording that they would use to invite somebody to a challenge? Bridget, you seem like you would have good wording. Do you have some to share with us? Because I know you're not afraid of the cold invite.
No. I guess it kind of depends on when the last time you've maybe talked to them,
Right.
or what the scenario is. But maybe to make it easier, you think of someone that's maybe expressed a frustration to you, or maybe you've noticed them posting something recently, like how they, ate too much over Christmas and they're feeling blah. So they've already self-admitted it. So you can message them and just say, hey, I saw that you're feeling kind of over the holiday splurges. I hear you. I did too. I'm so ready to get back on track. I just happen to have this 5-day free clean eating group or 3-day no sugar challenge. Would you be of any interest? Just some free tips on how to, clean things up after the holidays. I would love to have you. It's super fun, and we'll get some good habits rolling, something like that. So maybe think of a good segue. Someone that it can come across awkward if you make it awkward, right? You don't want to ever make someone feel like they need it. So you do have to kind of think a little bit about how you would word that. Maybe like I've used a couple of times, like, hey, I'm just looking for some really good energy in my group.
Oh, I like that.
You came to mind because you're super energetic and I just need some chatter going in there. Would you want to come? Compliment them. That's always nice. Find something that they may enjoy in there and then use that.
I love that. I I kind of feel like, and maybe I'm cheating a little bit here, but I feel a little bit like people who in the past, maybe it's been a long time since we've talked about a challenge group, like a really long time. I might consider them a new invite if it's really old, because it's not exactly, I mean, it's kind of a follow-up, but I don't know if it's a really old relationship that's been formed that never went anywhere. It's kind of a follow up, but they may not even remember, or you may not. You know what I'm saying? So don't feel like frozen that you don't know anybody who is a brand new invite, because chances are you probably do, more so than you know. Someone who's expressed interest in the past, but it's never gone anywhere. You can invite them again. I know that kind of overlaps a little with the follow-ups, but you know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. Sorry, my voice. Don't be shy. Send 3 invites out, okay? Even if it's to a free challenge that you've just realized you're having soon, right? So let's take a couple minutes and send those out. Bridget, those were great suggestions. Thank you. I love that. I love the line about great energy in your group.
So I just did my first one, and
Yeah, what did you say?
I'll just share with you guys because she already responded when I went in to send my second one. So I've been working on a high school friend for over a year to be both a coach and a challenger. It's taken her months. Like, she committed and then she never purchased. It was like carried on for 6 months, you guys. She wouldn't respond, then she'd respond. Anyway, finally in the fall, she ordered a challenge pack and was going to do PIO. Loved Shakeology, not really active in the group. Stopped Shakeology the second month. Never did the DVD, not one single workout. So I've been checking in ever since. Not about that, but just, hey, how are your holidays? Nothing. So I finally did it again. I'm like, hey, I don't know if you ever did that, PIO or not, but I would love if you come into my January group for some momentum. Maybe it'll be a little bit easier now with the holidays behind us and the kids back in school. What do you think? So anyway, she finally said yes. So don't give up on people that maybe never followed through with the program, because I'm kind of treating her as a new one.
See, exactly. That's a good call, Bridget. She's pretty much a new invite at this point. So
Yeah.
I love it.
She has this stuff, yeah, so we won't have to do any ordering or whatever, but yeah, it's like just get her rolling on it and get someone feeling good and get some results. So
How you doing with your 3 invites, ladies? Good? I just don't want to keep you too late. Let's take a couple more minutes. So we still got 2 more to get through really quick. Good. Awesome, Mandy. Thank you. All right. We're going to move on, even if you're not quite yet there. Make a note of that last person you're going to invite, okay? So that you can go back to this tomorrow if you need to. I just don't want to keep you guys too late. The next one, number 4, is 3 follow-ups. And follow-ups are probably second on my list of things I hate after inviting. I am not a huge follow-up lover. It's a frog that I have to eat. But it's super, super important, guys, because a lot of times people aren't ignoring you. They're just busy. And Facebook messaging is like the hardest way to track conversations. And if you can get buried down in someone's message stream, and don't take it personally if you haven't heard back from them. I like to keep my follow-ups. It kind of depends. It really depends on the situation. Sometimes there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And then you're going to spend a lot of time answering their questions and addressing their needs. Sometimes it's just going to be a check-in to see how a challenger is doing, okay? Or how a past challenger is doing this month with being on their own. Or, there's lots and lots and lots of different reasons why you might follow up with somebody. Someone who said they might be interested in coaching. I had several people who said, hit me up in the new year. Well, it's the new year. So probably the end of this week or the beginning of next week, I'm going to be following up with those people. So there's 1,000,001 reasons to follow up with people, and it tends to be a big, it can be a big energy drain to be following up with people. So I realize that it's something that we dread, but it's necessary. And in the case of not hearing back from somebody and hearing crickets, I personally find those follow-ups to be a little bit intimidating, but I find it easier just to reach out and just be really transparent. Be like, hey, any questions? I hope I'm not bugging you. Just curious to know what you're thinking. Are you in? Are you out? Just things like that. Just being really transparent and just being you and just being like, hey, what's up? I'm just checking in. Do you have any questions for me? But following up is key. The fortune is in the follow-up. So many people don't bother to follow up, and they're not only losing sales, but more importantly, they're losing that relationship and those connections with people, because you're here to see people all the way through their experience, whether it be coaching or as a challenger, not just through the 21 days that you have them, right? And there's lots and lots and lots of reasons to follow up. So basically, that is my note about follow-ups. Anybody else have anything they want to add to that before we do some follow-ups? All right, go in, get them, do those follow-ups. We're going to do this one fast, okay? So you might just have to write down 3 names because we're going to move on to the coaching opportunity next. But follow-ups are so important. Do not underestimate them.
Jess, is that you? Fingers of Fury there?
It is. Man, I'm serious. Sorry, I'll mute myself. I muted myself last time.
I'm
like,
who's
serious about these
Fingers of Fury there? We got
fingers of furious. I'm freaking serious about these follow-ups, dude.
I used to get called fingers because I have long fingernails, and at work when I worked in my HR job, I'd get typing while people were in my office, and someone, I think it was my HR coworker, is like, "Whoa, Fingers of Fury!" I'm like, it only sounds louder because I have fingernails.
Right?
Not that fast of a
I
typer.
love it.
I am fingers of fury. I think follow-ups are so important. I'm just trying to drive that point home, literally. I'll mute my fingers now. One thing I want to make sure, guys, is that you're noting these follow-ups because, for example, like all those people who said, I have a pretty good list of people who said, follow up with me about coaching in the new year, right? Like they were on my list in December and it didn't happen because December is crazy. So you need to track these people because sometimes people will be like, follow up with me after I have my baby. Follow up with me, after I get paid in a week. Follow up, people. A lot of times I have noticed people actually thank me for following up with them. Thank you so much for following up with me because of XYZ. It's honestly always give people the benefit of the doubt that they're busy. They're not trying to blow you off. So I think that it's really, really important to track those follow-ups and not let people get lost in the shuffle. Okay? I'm just going to check the chat box here before I move on to our last one because I don't want to keep you late. Okay. All right. Raise your hand if you got your 3 follow-ups done. Okay. If you didn't yet, make note of the next 2 people you want to follow up with, just so we can keep rolling. The next one we want to talk about, guys, I was going to say, I was obviously thinking very deeply about this. Do not be limited to 3. And if you go through and adjust this sheet for yourself, you can definitely add spaces where you can add more. Because I know for right now, I have follow-ups would probably be my biggest slot that needed to be filled. I could definitely add it with more than 3. I could definitely fill it up with more than 3 names and add more than 3 names. So if you're going to go up and make yourself your own power of 3s sheet, if you like this system, if you don't like it and it doesn't work for you, that's fine. But I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to try it tonight. But if it does work for you, I personally think follow-ups, I could definitely do more than 3 every day. If nothing else, those people who are just giving me crickets, I have more than them, 3 of them every day. So don't feel ever limited to 3. You're only going to grow your business faster and bigger and better if you do more than 3 people in each of these categories, right? So the last thing, and this used to be one that I was really scared of, and I am no longer nearly as scared about it, is inviting 3 people to the coaching opportunity. And again, this could be a coaching open house or call. Okay, it doesn't have to be you're inviting them to sign up to be a coach tomorrow, right? It could be you're inviting them to learn more about the coaching opportunity. But I used to be really scared of this because I felt like I was being salesy or pushy or something. But let me tell you what changed for me. My mindset shifted to the fact that I'm offering people an opportunity. This business has, I try not to cry, but it has changed my life, and it has changed my family's life. And without this business, I would not have met 99% of you guys that are on the call right now, because the only person I knew before this business opportunity was Nicole. Okay? It has changed my life, hands down. And why wouldn't I want to offer that to somebody else? They should take it as a compliment. And if they're not interested and they say no, oh well, I haven't lost anything, right? So I stopped being so scared, because I think I used to feel like people were going to think I was trying to talk them into my pyramid scheme and that I was a creeper. And only you guys know I'm a creeper and a stalker, right? But it's an opportunity. It's changed my family's life. So I think that if you go in with the mindset that you believe this is an opportunity for somebody else, even if it hasn't changed your life yet, you know it's changed mine, right? So you can go in authentically believing this is an opportunity and invite someone else to take part in it. And they should be flattered that you're offering it to them. So the coaching opportunity, again, it could be inviting someone to be part of an open house or a call. I would definitely go through with your challengers and just be you with your challengers and just say, you know, why you love having them in the group, and have they ever thought about being a coach? That's it. It only needs to be like 3 sentences long. Doesn't need to be, you don't need to write them a novel, but end with, have they ever thought about being a coach? And chances are they'll be very flattered. And even if they say, no, I don't want to be a coach, they'll still be flattered usually that you asked. People who might want to be a coach for the discount, people who you just would love to be sitting next to at Summit next year. Who would you love to be sitting next to? Who would you love to be on this team call next week? Your best friend, your sister-in-law. Mine was on here. Maybe she's still on here. You know, like, who would you absolutely love to be on your team? So don't overthink it. Offer it as an opportunity. And if you go in with that attitude and that energy, that's going to only be well received by other people, because they're going to know you're authentic. So take a minute, and if nothing else, just jot down right now. I'll give you 5 minutes to send an invite, but jot down the list of 3 people who you're going to invite to the coaching opportunity, and don't be scared, because it's an opportunity. So take a second. Fingers of fury here. I'm going to send one out.
One thing too that's helpful is when I get to that part too, I'm like, oh great, now I have to send this, and I get that a lot when sending out coaching invites. But what I like to do even before sending invites, and just to share, you know, having that energy, going in with positive energy, is just look at, no matter where you're at in your coaching journey, if you're just starting out, or maybe you're just in it for the discount but curious about what you can do, you know, what has been of benefit for you. Maybe it is the community, maybe it is being part of a coach challenge group, maybe it is the discount. Don't be afraid to share that where you're at too, but just even brainstorming it before you do invite people, it shifts your mindset to a more positive place. So you bring that energy into writing it to people too. So we all have different reasons why we're coaches. Maybe some of us don't really want to earn a lot of income, but we really appreciate the community. Maybe some of us appreciate the personal development aspect, and we've grown a lot of different ways there. Maybe some of us you know, are on our own fitness and health journey, and you know, like me, like I'm in a new state and I don't really know a lot of people close, so I like having other like-minded people that I can connect with online. So
Yep, I agree, Nicole. That's exactly right. And I think to kind of piggyback on what she just said, it's important to realize
And Alyssa shared while Jess is taking a drink that she has a coach prospect who's considering joining for the discount in our book clubs.
Yeah, and our book clubs. Perfect.
What we do with the gift is up to you, and if people say no, they say no.
But I know Alyssa has said a few different times she pays $16 a month just to hang out with us.
Yeah.
I would too. And I think it's important to, this is another thing that I really let go when asking people about the coaching opportunity. I let go prejudging them, okay? That they're super busy. My friend April just joined our team, and she's a physician, okay? She's like literally one of the busiest people I've ever met. I'm not just saying that. She's a doctor. She's super busy. And what if I hadn't asked her? Because I assumed she was too busy. And she doesn't need the money. Okay? I could have just assumed she was too busy and she didn't need the money. And why would she want to do that? Well, why wouldn't she want to do it? We're awesome, right? So I think that sometimes it's easy to assume, well, just because I don't, maybe you don't want to, maybe you're not in it to build a multi-million-dollar business, but you shouldn't assume that your neighbor next door doesn't want to do that. You know, so I think that sometimes it's easy to project our own goals with the business or our own assumptions about somebody else onto somebody else, and you don't necessarily know what their deepest, darkest desires are or what they would get out of coaching that maybe you don't get out of coaching, you know? So just ask. Don't worry about it. Don't think that someone's too busy or that someone's too shy or that someone's too, I don't know, X, Y, or Z, because they may be super interested and you just have never taken the time to ask.
So I have a random question. I hope you don't mind me asking, but I have these two moms that I've started connecting with through like a fit pregnancy site for like the last couple weeks. And one, we have a lot in common because we're both having natural births, and are more like, she's having one in the hospital, I'm having one at home, but we like totally randomly hit it off in that aspect. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And there's this other woman who I met who I like, she's like the perfect coach, but I don't know these women very well, but I feel like they would gain a lot and be an awesome addition to our team. Is it like way too early to invite them? I'm thinking I probably need to build that relationship more. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want like, I mean, I genuinely have been connecting with them obviously the last couple of weeks, but I don't know if that would just come off like just too soon, if I should wait a matter of months more and just keep connecting with them throughout our pregnancies and then revisit, you know, I don't know.
What does your gut tell you? Ha, no pun intended. You look beautiful. You don't
Right? Oh, it goes back and forth. I remember on one call, I think Melissa said, you have to get people before somebody else gets them. And I feel like that is how it is with one of the ladies. Like, if I don't take the opportunity now, like, there've got to be other people. I mean, it doesn't look like she's friends with any other Beachbody coaches, but I feel like she's such a great prospect that, you know, somebody else could snatch her.
Ellen, does she know
So
that
I
you're
go back and forth.
Can I ask a
Say that
question?
again?
How pregnant is she?
Is that Janelle?
Yes, now, hi.
So
Hi, Janelle.
both of them are exactly the same as me. So they're like 24 weeks, 25 weeks.
Don't wait months.
I was planning that sort of birth, and I would have loved if somebody reached out to me because I really wanted to be fit, and I was going to yoga, and I wanted to do more than was being offered at my pregnancy yoga. And I mean, I just became a coach, and so I saw that was a program, and I thought, oh my God, I wish I would have known or would have had this program available to me.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. And then I know
Can
one
I-
has already expressed. Oh, sorry, you go, Rachel.
Well, no, I was just going to say I've actually run into this a couple of times, and I just went for it, and I just reached out to these people that weren't challengers, but I just felt in my gut like you would make an awesome coach. And so I just genuinely approach them like from my heart, and I just say, you would be amazing. And I just say, you know, would you be open to just being a fly on the wall in one of my challenge groups? And every single one of them has said yes. And so then I just add them to the challenge group, and I'm like, you can just kind of observe and see what it looks like. And
I agree with that.
several of them have gone on to become coaches, and so, but you have to have that, you've got to be comfortable with it. But I think if, like, you know, like Jess said, if you feel it in your gut, like, just go for it, because if you don't, somebody else will.
Right. And one has actually like expressed financial concern already to me, like just in our, you know, they're newly, you know, they've only been together for a year, and she's pregnant already, and works at a daycare, and, you know, has just talked about things in the birth process of like a doula, midwife, that whole thing, like, oh, but we don't really have like the money for that. So for me, it's like, ooh, ding, 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 you know, there's a financial need for it too, which is huge. Okay. I like that idea of being a fly on the wall in challenge groups though, Rachel. That's a really, really good idea. Instead of like, you know, so forward as like coming to a call or, you know, something like, I like that. Just being a fly on the wall and seeing what it's like and then going from there. I like that idea. Thank you.
Yeah, because then there's no pressure, and they can kind of see what it's all about without committing, and you can kind of check in with them even after a week. Maybe make sure it's a good challenge group first. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes you have those really quiet challenge groups where nobody's talking, but I don't know. It's worked for me, so it's worth a shot.
Okay. Thank you.
I say give it a whirl. I agree with Rachel. Trust your gut. Sorry, Nicole. What were you going to say?
Oh, no, I think that you're already just sharing it with us, Ellen. You have positive energy. If you're coming with positive energy and intend to help them, which you are, you want to connect with them more. I mean, one thing that I tell people that are interested in coaching, I'm like, selfishly, I think it'd be awesome just to connect with you more. Because
Right.
I've found such good friends in the community, and it's easier for me to connect with people when they're in the community and we're coming from a like-minded place. But my question for you is, does she know that you are a coach and what you do? Have you even shared any of that before? You don't even have to say, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach, but hey, this is what I do in my free time. Is that something that have you ever thought of that? But not in a salesy way. You're not saying it in a salesy way.
Right. I say that I'm a health and fitness coach from home is what I say. So I'd like even just leave out like the Beachbody term. So yeah, I had to look back and like specifically, I know that I've just randomly mentioned that and not really much more. And then it's neat because actually one of the women, I am really good friends with her friend, or how do I say this? We have a mutual friend. Mm-hmm. So she's friends with a woman that I know's cousin. So I feel like that puts it on a different level than like somebody random, like, okay, crazy. We know like the same person from a really small town. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I'll do that tonight after we get off this call. I'll reach out to both of them.
If you're coming from like a good and genuine place, which you are, you've shared that, nothing can really go wrong. They're not going to take it in a negative way. And if they do, you know, that's their issue, not yours.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. And it's hard to get it because even when I connect with people and I think that they would be great for my team, I don't want to be like, hey, you should join this. I want to help them in a certain way. So I want to make sure I'm starting off from a genuine place, which it sounds like you are. So
absolutely.
Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, let us know. And I agree. You have like the biggest heart, and you're so positive and sweet and genuine. And I agree with Nicole. If you're coming from a positive place, and I'm one to be very transparent with people too, and just be like, hey, I hope this doesn't come off as pushy, because I don't. I hope it doesn't come off as pushy, but I really feel, drawn to invite you to this opportunity, and this is what it is. This is why I love it. So. It can't go wrong. If they're the right person for your team, they're not going to get turned off. Look at how well we knew each other, Ellen, when you signed up to be on my team. We didn't really, and the connection was meant to happen. So if they're the right person for your team, they're going to be like, sure, or maybe it's not the right time, but they're still not going to be scared away. That's just, they'll come back later. So guys, it is late and I've kept you past the time, but we actually did about an hour of work. Raise your hand if you felt like this was at least a beneficial exercise to go through as far as breaking down a power hour. I did. Okay. I think I may keep this up. So more reflection, more questions, anything else that pops in your head. I don't see anything else in the chat box. Mandy had to go. She sent out 2 coach invites. Yeah, so I would love it, guys, if you could try the power of threes for your power hour. And this would be an easy thing to break down, too, if you're someone, like I know Alyssa does, like 15 minutes in the morning and then 15 minutes later, because that's just the way her day is with, 4+ kids. And but it would be easy to be like, I'm going to shoot off my 3, reach out to 3 people, add 3 people first thing in the morning, So these are ways that we could break down the power hour. So I would love it if you guys could give this a whirl a couple more times just to see how it feels and report back to the group. Does that sound good? Okay, thank you so much. I know it's late and I know it's a Sunday of all Sundays, so I don't want to keep you any longer, but thank you so much for tuning in, guys. It is always a pleasure to see you. I really appreciate it, and have a good night, okay? Keep moving those businesses forward 3 people at a time. Okay, thank you. Good night.